Hi, I wanted to start, before we got in too much this week, there have been, historically when I teach this class, a lot of folks struggle, I think, with the initial spreadsheeting here. So for the simulation, what I've done is I put together a spreadsheet just to give you a kind of a starting point, if nothing else, to kick this thing off. What I just typed in here really quick, missile typed, range to target that it's effective at, number of shots that you want to take from that particular target, and then probability of a hit. And or actually, this is a probability of kill is what we want to do there. But basically, what all the numbers that are like given to you in the assignment, right? And then what I'm asking you to do is sort of think through how do you get the computer to tell you if there's going to be a successful, if some engagement is going to be successful. And so what you're really saying is this particular type of missile A, let's say, it has a range of 400 meters, and it'll if you fire it within those miles, 0.9 probability that it'll hit. Now, what you have in your assignment is the ability to sort of change how many missiles you want to shoot. So here I just threw down 4, 3 for the next one, 2 for the next one. You know, you can change it to be anything. You know, you can kind of mess around with it. But I just did this. What I want to talk to is now probability of hit for the salvo of missiles that you fire. How would you go about doing that? In Excel, you have the ability to write functions. So basically, you just put equal and then whatever you want to add up. Like if you wanted to add up total number of shots fired, you could do equal sum and then all of this, list them out, and there's your 10 total missiles that are fired. There's all kinds of formulas that you can do, and it helps you do that. And I would look up on YouTube if you have any questions about it. But here, let's just take this one and say, all right, let's think about this for a minute. If 0.9 probability of hitting means, let me escape out of that. 0.9 probability of hitting means I'm going to fire 4 of them. So you would think, one thing that you would think is maybe I'm going to say, well, if I have 0.9 for the first one, right? Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to select my cell. I'm going to say 0.9, which is D5. I select that cell, and then maybe I, do a caret, which basically means to the power of. So D5 times D5, however many times you got, to the caret of 4, C5 is going to be that. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense if you think about it. So, because what you're saying is I have a 0.9 probability of kill, but then a 0.9 multiplied by that, it's actually going to make it smaller. So the more shots I fire, the less likely I am to hit the target. That doesn't make sense. Actually, it's backwards of that. You want to do 1 minus, right? What you're really interested in is the probability of miss. And so each time you do this, that 0.1 probability that you miss is going to get smaller each time. So that's what you want to be thinking about. So let's go back and think about this again. We want to say equals 1 minus, right? Because you want to see what the actual probability of hitting this is going to be. 1 minus, and let's take the probability of 1 minus this, D5. So that's going to be a 0.1 probability of miss. Take that, and let's raise that to the power of, where's my little caret sign again? This keyboard's killing me. Here we go. Raise that to the power of the number of shots that we fire. Let's see what that does. So, that's about right. I did it in the wrong cell here. I was just playing around. But basically, what's that saying is that I have a 0.9 probability that I'm going to hit it with the first shot. If I fire 2 shots, it's 0.99 that I'm going to hit it. So I'm really likely to hit it. About 99% chance. If I fire 3 shots, I'm 999 out of 1,000 chances I'm going to hit this thing. One of those 3 is going to hit. Fire 4 shots, you're getting to 0.9999. So that's what you want to be able to do. So think about that in terms of this formula. What you're trying to think through is logically, how do I represent in math what I'm trying to ask myself to go do? So if we take this and go ahead and Control C, whoops, Control V there. I just moved this formula. Now what Excel does is when you move a formula, it tries to adjust automatically to the cells. So we got to replace this again. Let's put this as a that cell, and let's replace this cell that we've lost the reference for with that. And then hit return, and you'll get that. Okay, now let's delete this. So now we've got D5, which is this cell. 1 minus D5 is 0.1. 0.1 probability of miss. That 1 minus 0.1 is 0.9. 1 minus that raised 4 times is going to be the total probability of hit. So then what about the other ones? Do I have to do all this computation again? No. Excel will let you pull it out. You just grab this little dot down here. You grab this, pull it down 1, 2, 3, and it'll give you all the probabilities. So here you've got 0.6 probability of kill, right? How many shots did I fire? 1. So what's my probability? 0.6, because I only shot 1 and it had a 0.6 probability. Here I have 0.7. Now what's different here, now you notice this, I fired 2 shots. So the probability of miss is going to be 0.3. And if I multiply that 0.3 times 0.3, then I'm going to get 1 minus 0.3, 1 minus that will get me up to 0.09, which if you subtract that from 1 is 0.91. So that all makes sense. So what I'm seeing here is as I change the number of all this, then I get the overall probability of hit based on the number of missiles I fired. But here's the real cool thing about having a simulation. What if I change this? I want to mess with this a little bit. I only have 10 shots. If I want to change this to 4 and this to 1, now I've got 0.9 up here, and I got 0.9 down here, and I got 0.9 here. All of these targets I'm likely to hit. So if I'm looking for something that's 90% everywhere, this is probably what I'm going to do, right? Because this gets me all the way. So I got, for all these targets, I got 9.9 probability. Anyway, I'm just pointing out, this is how you kind of do formulas within Excel, and how you kind of think through what needs to go in there. But as you have questions, just feel free to reach out. But that's kind of what you do.